So this is to make sure that our floor didn't get ruined when our freezer thawed. So, you know, we set up plastic and towels because we were worried that we might be under mandatory evacuation and that we would lose our power and everything in our freezer would melt and flood our wood floor here. This is now all compost. It probably does not belong in your belly anymore. It probably best belongs, you know, in your compost pile, sort of keeping your garden healthy, because food after 4 hours above 40 degrees becomes dangerous to eat. So it's not really smelling very good when I open the refrigerator right now. Even if we had natural gas, we need to have both natural gas and power to have heat in our house. Because if you have the natural gas but you don't have power, your thermostat doesn't work. If you have your thermostat and your power, but you don't have natural gas, then your heater doesn't work. So basically, it's cold. This evacuation in Sonoma County was unprecedented. It is the largest scale evacuation in the history of our county. 2 out of 5 of our residents were impacted. We're actually under mandatory evacuation orders from their homes. I will say that I'm tired of the word unprecedented. Our fires in October 2017 were unprecedented. They were the most destructive wildfires in the history of the state of California at the time. 1 year later, in Paradise, in Butte County, they broke our record tragically. Overlaid on top of our historic unprecedented evacuations, we have had wide-scale power outages of a kind not seen in California history. You feel like a sitting duck. You're literally in the dark, you're in the cold. In addition to having a fire, we've actually had freezing temperatures overnight. And then we don't have a way to actually get the information because our telecom systems are dependent upon electricity, which we don't have. Every tree is a potential disaster, right? An ember lands on one of these trees and then it's burning right next to my house. And so the things that you love about your property, the things that I love about West County, which is our forest, suddenly becomes very threatening and sort of sinister, which is really sad because it's one of the most beautiful spots in the world, in my opinion. We often talk about climate change as something that's coming. In Sonoma County, it's already here. We have experienced 2 catastrophic wildfires now since October 2017, in addition to the 5th worst flood in record in the Russian River. We are constantly living with the threat of disaster. And, you know, we're at the point where we cringe when we hear sirens. We're always constantly looking to see what's the wind doing, is it fire weather? I'm tired of living in that kind of anxiety, and I hope that we can drive forward with innovative and meaningful solutions. We need to start acting like our planet is on fire, because it is, and we've seen that right here in Sonoma County. We were trying to create some defensible space at the last minute and doing some tree trimming. This was the site of the emergency evacuation. We actually managed to get 14 ducks all herded into a dog crate. And then my husband, 14 ducks actually weigh quite a bit, so we hoisted them up, we flattened our electric fence, and then we moved them out down to the fairgrounds. So it was just really wonderful, honestly, to be able to drop off the goats and the ducks and to not have to worry about them for a few days. That's my daughter, who's 6 now. I'm a parent of 3 young kids, and when I talk to other parents, this is kind of something that we talk about in hushed whispers so the kids don't hear, because we don't want them to be so stressed. But we talk about how we're worried for the future. We're worried that our kids are going to be inheriting a planet that's kind of unrecognizable to us. These are the kinds of things that you don't want to lose, you know, when there's a threat of fire. The key to fairyland: once there was a girl that lived in fairyland, which sounds really nice right about now. You know, it's not really feeling like fairyland in Sonoma County these days.